Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer.
I want to be a police officer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every week on Bright House Cable at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to watch out for our other shows, EDU TV, which is a show about education. EDU TV is on the air at
9 p.m.
9 p.m.?
Yep. 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Okay, it's on at 9 p.m. Sorry for that. And also Latina Role Models, which is on at 10 p.m. So we start off here on Bright House at 9 p.m. We run 3 shows until 10:30 p.m. We're here with our guest, William Garlington, who wrote a book, It's Your Choice, America. He's a Republican conservative.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are?
I am a Democrat.
He's our co-host. He's our co-host and the host of EDU TV, yes. And he is a Democrat, a long-standing Democrat. Okay, we've had some interesting things going on in South Carolina. Tragedy. We talked a little bit about that before we came on the air. The outcome of that tragedy showed me a couple of things that came up as a result of that. Number one, it was a very outstanding and appropriate way the families reacted. Mm-hmm. Okay? I think those families, the Simmons family particularly, taught a lesson in politics to every politician in this country on how to deal with these issues. Instead of dividing the country and having an incident like this turn into street warfare, they've actually taken a position that is absolutely good for everybody, white, black, Muslim, or whatever, Hispanic or whatever. So I have to, this was just an outstanding position that they took. Now, out of that, and that's a lesson for every politician in the country, including guys who do the marches and all of that, because it's unnecessary. We have to focus in on what happened and then focus in on the mending and fixing what happened rather than burning, Two issues came out of that, okay, that are now being really, really bantered around on CNN and Fox. One was the Confederate flag, okay? And two is gun control. Now, you're a conservative. How do you feel the Confederate flag flies over many southern states as a secondary flag? How do you feel about that flag?
Well,
and how do you feel about the movement to eliminate that flag from state buildings?
Okay. Well, Senator Marco Rubio said it best. I agree with him. Let South Carolinians deal with the issue with their flag at their state capitol. I think it was Governor Bush in 2002, I think I heard, we removed our flag from our state capitol. And again, there's a couple other states, I think Mississippi and Alabama, that may have the Confederate flag flying over. So I agree that the flag probably needs to be taken down at this time, probably put into a museum. I think you can agree with that. Mm-hmm. And because it does represent, to a lot of people in this country, hate. And we don't need any more hate, we need more love. What do you think?
Same thing. I mean, it should be taken down, but that's a dodge by Rubio. Yeah, come on, you're going to be president, take a clear stance, as Mitt Romney did. Of course, he's not running now, but take a clear stance. Okay, if something offends a group of people, right, just take it out. Okay, just take it out.
But you can't take everything out that offends a group of people, because then you have to deal with all the sub-political and all the agendas that are going on in this country. A lot of people, there are a lot of big groups that have agendas that want to change things. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't eliminate things because a group of people want to.
You can't.
Well, even if it's offensive, we're on the freedom of speech.
Right.
However, in this particular case, I agree with the both of you because it is a state building. Now, people as individual groups can be as offensive as they want.
Right.
We're in a free country. That's what makes us different from the countries in the Arab world, that we don't get our heads chopped off for expressing it. Would you say that?
But you made a good point. You said state. So blacks are paying for that building, whites are paying for that building.
Yeah, everybody's paying for that building.
Right. So no, I wasn't advocating personally because there was a guy over in near Tampa, and he's probably got the world's largest rebel flag. Right. So I'm not going to go on his property and say, hey, take down your rebel flag. But you made a good point. If it's a state building and if it offends people,
it needs to be taken down. And I think Senator Rubio, if he was pressed, I think he would agree with all of us that it needs to be taken down. He was just making the point.
What do you think is the symbolism of that flag?
Well, coming from the South, being born in Georgia and being raised by Southern folks for all my life, the Confederate flag symbolized a tradition of Southern values that dated back pre-Civil War.
So it's a direct attachment to slavery and that society.
Well, not only that, but just economic freedom or just the Southern culture, because, believe it or not, the Southern culture is a lot different than the Northern culture.
Of course it is.
Right. So, but again, we don't want to, if it offends anybody, we don't want to make changes because it goes to the second point of your question
I'm from
of
the
gun
South.
control.
I'm
Yes,
from
sir?
the South. I
Okay.
have Southern culture. I'm not going to fly a rebel flag in my yard.
Right.
So what is Southern culture?
Well, the Southern culture back in the day that was run primarily by white men back in the day was established during that time as a symbolism of independence. And a lot of people we talked about this in the green room, a lot of people during the Civil War think the Civil War was established over slavery. That was just one small part of it. It was also economic freedom from the North and so forth. But from your point of view, the Confederate flag, if I would ask 9 people, 10 people, they would say the Confederate flag represents slavery. So that's why it needs to be taken down.
It represents an era of slavery.
Yes.
And it represents a mentality that was in control at the time that used that flag to represent that society.
Right.
So, it shouldn't be flying on. I mean, if people want to do it on their car or whatever, that's their business. Right. But it should be taken down from state buildings. We're all in agreement on that.
Yeah, 1962 is put up there as also defiance of the civil rights movement too. So.
Yeah.
And people just have to move on. We're all evolving as people.
Correct.
And people just get rid of it.
Well, the country's going through very strong social change.
Slowly.
Well, it's picked up momentum. Slowly, yes. But now it's picking up momentum because we do have people now have their own access to their own control of media, like we do. Okay? The internet, people can express themselves through the internet where before they didn't have that.
Right.
So in order to be expressed, you had to use ABC, CBS, the major networks. Now everybody is a walking media.
Correct.
So the people are able to express themselves more fully. So you're getting a lot of answers to problems of change because our media access has changed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And those families were classy. I mean, to forgive that guy like that, I don't know. I don't know what that's rooted in, Christianity maybe, but I'm just saying that was a remarkable display.
Absolutely remarkable.
I'm not sure.
Absolutely remarkable, and it taught everybody in this country a total lesson. This is Danny Ramos. We're going to cut, and we're going to be right back.
Hi, my name is Lisa Pino. I'm a Latina role model. I am a student at the University of Central Florida, graduating with her communication degree in December. My advice to students is to stay focused, stay dedicated, and don't let challenges bring you down.
It is not about the goal, it is about the road. Remember to keep dreaming, live genuinely, and never stop dreaming. Pursue your dreams, but enjoy the moment.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Hi, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out, which is brought to you each week on Bright House Channel 49. We started at 9 actually. We had 3 shows, EDU TV, Hispanic Speak Out, and Latina Role Models. Good shows, and please stay tuned and watch the next upcoming episode of Latinas, all right? Today we're going to speak to our budget. Some will say, what budget? But in order to better handle that concept, I'm here with my good friend and Representative John Cortes. John, how are you, bro?
How you doing, sir?
How are you feeling, man?
Thank you. Feeling a little disappointed in the budget.
I thought after you going up there to enjoy all that good food and the scenery at Tallahassee, and plus costing the taxpayer $1.5 million for you guys hanging out there for that special session, I thought at least you'd be happy about that.
No, I wasn't happy about the budget. There's a lot of things in there that I wasn't agreeing with. We didn't expand Medicaid like we were supposed to. We didn't do it. We didn't get the.
Well, no. Let's be fair. They put $400 million towards paying for people who are
LIP program.
Yeah, the LIP program. For what's that, low
income
pool, which is pretty much like a dime for everybody that comes in that doesn't have insurance. So at least they were able to do that.
Well, they didn't have to do that in the first place if they would have taken the money from Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare.
Okay.
And they were told. Well, they were told in the emails. I was alleged that if they were not going to get any money this coming year for the LIP program.
Okay.
So
where the money come from?
The money came from. Well, the governor just vetoed half the stuff. What was it, $461 million?
Yeah. He knocked off the campus downtown.
For UCF, he knocked that off.
Which was highly touted by the mayor as a great step forward. And the college also came out to say, well, it's a great start. It's short of the $60 million that they were looking for. In fact, way short of the $60 million they were looking for, but they thought it was a great start. And now the governor has decided that they really don't need it.
Well, that was a disappointment too, because there was a lot of kids that wanted to go to that school downtown.
Right.
And it was going to be a great thing for businesses around the area.
Okay.
To upgrade, and taxes were going to be coming in.
Voters last year, I believe 75% voted to secure wetlands and
Amendment 1.
Okay, Amendment 1, to secure lands, water rights, and things of that nature. And it was slated for $700 million. And they got whittled down to about 55
million, I believe it was.
So I'm sometimes I'm a little askew in math, but the numbers don't jive.
The outcome was horrible.
Okay, where's the money going?
Well, there's a lawsuit out by 3 conservationists, I believe it is, that are going to are in federal court, I believe, to see what happened to those monies and what happened to Amendment 1 till the voters voted it in.
Well, apparently our vote doesn't count. Okay, so if the governor feels that he's doing it for the benefit of the whole, I think he watched Star Trek movies. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it came out to. He's a Trekkie. So tell me what your biggest disappointment is. Tell me about education.
Well, education, you got $50 million for public schools, and you got $50 million for charter schools. And there's only 400 charter schools, and then you got 4,125, I believe it was, that got to split $50 million.
Okay.
And then charter schools, only 500 got to split $50 million. That's kind of weak. And then they said they gave per student some more monies. They did, but
it's chump change.
Yeah, it should have been more.
Right. I mean, I saw that they put some money from K through 12.
They killed the disabilities program, which is $10 million, and they gave it to zero.
Okay, explain the disability program.
The disability program for kids, people with disabilities that they had, it was a great program, and then they just gave it zero.
Okay.
They said they had sent it to 2 other programs, but I don't know. I really didn't understand what would.
So they transferred all the disability people to some other outside agency.
Not outside agency, but they said it's some kind of other programs that they have, which I still didn't quite understand.
Okay.
I was lost on that one, so I had to research that one and see what I could come up with, see where the money did go.
Okay.
Because they just outright gave it a zero.
You guys play poker up there a lot?
I don't play anything up there. I don't play with people's taxpayer money. I don't play with people's lives. This is a serious. We don't have a Medicaid expansion.
Okay.
We got the LIP program, and I asked them, okay, you got the LIP program. Where's the money going to come for the next couple of years when you have a deficit?
Right.
Where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from the counties and the cities. They're going to have to help out to keep these programs in, because the hospitals are probably going to close down if they have no money.
Right.
But I heard they had like a compromise today in the paper or something with the LIP program, with the federal government, some kind of mutual understanding with CMS.
I'm not really sure.
I couldn't understand what they were talking about. Yeah. There was like a little
you need a map,
you need some kind of interpreter to
to
understand what they were talking about.
Yeah, it's convoluted in numbers and singles and stuff like that. But the Medicaid program, we still have a chance, slight chance, to grab a hold of this money. That will take care of, what is it, 8
million people.
A million people?
800,000 million people.
Okay, so.
But we have to worry about now the lawsuit now that the federal government has, that the subsidies. If they kill the subsidies, people are not going to be able to afford this program.
Yeah, but now they have. Now, for the first time in 8 years, the Republican Party is going to have to actually face the citizens of the country and come up with a viable program,
and they don't,
which they haven't done.
On the floor, I asked 3 times. I said, "Okay, so what's the plan? What's the alternative?" I never got a great answer.
Well, there's no plan.
They didn't take the fix. Fix wasn't great, but it was better than zero.
Okay.
They didn't give me an answer. Okay, so what's the next plan? They don't have an alternative plan. So what's the plan?
What was the worst thing about this fix that they wanted?
The people with medical needs. I forgot which one. The ones that really needed it badly.
Existing.
Yeah, that they couldn't get some kind of something in there. It wasn't jiving right. It wasn't. Okay. It wasn't connected for the folks.
All right, so it was a program on paper that really didn't work, and they knew it ahead of time. They must have known it for weeks, not just.
Well, they tried. The Senate did a good job at getting it together. It was a good job put together, but there were certain little tweaks that could have been tweaked.
Right.
And we could have fixed it, and it would have been good. But they kept on comparing it to Obamacare. Oh, but this is another thing for Obamacare. So then I said, on the floor, I said, so why didn't we take Obamacare and avoided all this trouble?
Right. And the fact is,
I never got a good response.
The fact is, the state is already taking money from the government.
34%. In the budget, there's 34% of federal money is in the budget.
Right.
So I didn't see what the point was.
And it's coming from the same man that they hate so much.
And not only that, it's already allocated.
Right.
The money is already allocated for this program.
Okay.
Why couldn't we just take it and solve it? We wouldn't have to worry about the LIP program and all that stuff. So all would have been done, and we would have been great. People would have medical. I have people come to my office that have nothing, with cancer. The lady's more worried about her autistic son than worried about herself. She got stage 4 cancer. I got 2 people like that. Worry about their kids and not worried about themselves. You know, that bothers me.
That's what minorities do.
You know, and you know, I have people who are sick and then they can't go to the doctor because they're scared to go to the doctor. They don't want to go to the emergency room because it's going to cost them money.
Right.
And then they talk about they don't want the emergency rooms to be packed with people with no money. So where are they going to go?
Right. Which is what they're going to do. What is going to happen anyway.
And now it's going to happen now. But but they would have been educated that they have a medical plan now. And if you got a medical plan, you don't go to the ER. You go to see your doctor first. And if it's emergency, then you go to the emergency room. You don't go before, and that would have saved money. They said in the first year or 2, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have saved more money. But after that, it would have saved billions of dollars. Because people would have known that they had their own medical plan, could have gone to their clinics or the clinic they're supposed to go, and then the ERs would have been okay.
Right.
And the ER would have been an ER like it was supposed to be.
Because right now the ERs are really back to
the same way they were before.
Because people are going in there for everything.
For everything, and then we don't have a program for the mentally ill.
Okay.
So if you don't have a program for the mentally ill, they're off.
We do have a program for the mentally ill.
Yeah, but it's not an efficient program right now.
It's called the Woods. Okay, so it's called the Woods. If I don't see you and you haven't gone to the woods, it's okay. So I mean, I'm being facetious.
I worked in the jail, and the jail was I was a correctional officer. I retired from that.
Right.
The jail was now a mental institution. It's not a jail. They're working with mentally ill patients.
Okay.
Which they should not be doing that.
Right.
Correctional should be dealing with criminals that
do
in their time, help them rehabilitate like it's supposed to be done, and the mentally ill should be helped with psychiatrists and everybody else in the mental health field, helping them out to become, be on their meds and to go back into the real life and help themselves.
State employees have not had a raise in a substantial amount of time.
I say 9 years because they gave them a raise and then they took it away when they took the 3% for the pensions.
Right.
And then they put it in a general fund. They did not put it in a fund or the FRS where it could grow. So they just took it away. FRS is the pension plan that they have for all state employees. They get it could be a 401k, it could be a regular pension plan, and some other. There's three. I think it's three plans, but they could have stayed in there. That money could have been in there to help, keep it flowing.
Right.
But they put it in the general fund, so the money just gets blown away, and the people who got the raises, the 3% just killed their raise. So to me, they didn't get a raise.
It would seem that I saw in the printout of what was passed, people that are actually well-to-do have been receiving funds for some of their private causes schools, etc., to,
Well, yeah,
to the elite.
Well,
actually.
they just they did an okey doke midnight run on the budget, and I heard that $2 million to a school that charges $50,000 per student.
Right.
And you're going to give them $2 million?
Wasn't it a sports?
Some kind of sports
academy.
Yeah.
For the elite to begin with.
Well, it's $50,000 to go to school. It's got to be at least $50,000.
Yeah. So then we gave them a little bonus.
Yeah, we gave them $2 million. And no, then I think it's more than $2 million. I think it was 9.2. I think because it's over like 3 years or something like
Right. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Tell me you're a pretty even-keeled guy, but what pisses you off about this process that these guys are not getting the message? What programs do you feel that really angers you?
I don't like the offset of 81 Republicans versus 39 Democrats.
Okay.
I think it should have been an even playing field where we all sat down together and we got things done. Now we're doing a Congress where we're not getting things done, but they're going to get things done because they have the majority. We have the minority.
Right.
But there's things that people need, and I think these guys forgot where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
And they're forgetting about the elderly, the poor, and the middle class. There is no middle class anymore. It's either you're rich or you're poor.
Right.
It's not like the old days middle class. There's no such animal as a middle class anymore.
Okay.
So if anybody tells you there is, that to me they're lying. Because there is no, when somebody, and I'm not going to say where I worked, but I worked in a theme park where they had to work, either you work 28 hours or 30 hours, and then they got rid of you because they don't want to pay medical benefits.
Right.
But this is way before Obamacare because this was a federal law passed.
Okay.
But they blame everything on Obamacare.
Right.
No, this wasn't Obamacare. This was a law passed by the federal government telling you that if you do anybody over working 40 hours, you have to give them benefits. So now they don't give them benefits. People are working 30 hours here and 30 hours here and 2 part-time jobs with no benefits.
Right.
And no medical. So if you're not going to pass the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, what's going to happen to those folks? They get sick. They're working 2 jobs. What about their families?
Right.
So, everybody forgets where they, I don't know, like I said, they forgot where they came from. I can't do that. I can't forget where I came from.
I think what you're saying, that people need to get out and vote and make some changes.
They need to vote and get rid of these guys that are not doing the job.
I agree with you.
It's like the same thing in Puerto Rico. They need to get rid of the guys in Puerto Rico. They're corrupt the way they're supposed to be. Then get rid of them, and let's get the island back together too. Now they're fighting for the Affordable Care Act too, because they're not going to get anything.
No, they're not.
So that's another problem.
All right, John. Listen, thank you. I want to appreciate you coming on. We got to talk again. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm Jose Miranda. This has been Hispanic Speak Out. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hey, welcome back. This is Danny Ramos, and I'm here with my co-host Greg Perkins and Lisa Pino, also with us on the show. Let's talk. We're going to close the show with this 5-minute segment. Let's talk about guns. Mm-hmm. Okay, we had that incident in South Carolina. Okay, what's your position on guns?
I think people should be allowed to have them, but it just seems like a lot of crazy people have them now, right? So you need to have some type of controls. They cleaned it up pretty much in New York. So whatever New York did, maybe take a look at that, right? So no, I think people should be allowed to protect themselves, but too many insane people get it, right? Because obviously there's something wrong with this kid, and he had a felony. I think he had a couple of felonies.
But
so how would a person like that be catch?
Because I think that they didn't, when they did the background check, supposedly, the felonies didn't come up for some technical reason. What do you feel? How do you feel about? You're young, right? You're the millennial generation. That's you're graduating college. You're going into the world. How do you feel about the era of people being able to carry guns?
I don't think guns should be taken away completely, but they should be regulated. But there also is a controversy with it being regulated, because by me saying it should be regulated, there should be. They should control who gets it, kind of investigate. Okay, there's these certain regulations you have to meet in order to get the gun, but at the same time, a crazy person can meet all those regulations and still get it.
You can go crazy after getting the gun.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
you can have a mental breakdown.
So it's
you can
really
get fired. Yeah. For example, a guy who's has gotten a gun permit, all of a sudden, he's starting to get a divorce. He gets fired from his job, and he goes off the cliff. And then he starts shooting people at work. That's happened once in Orlando, where an employee got fired and he shot people at work.
Yeah, it's hard to regulate.
What it is when you're dealing with a human person, you can never. It's not a human being is not a fixed mentality. The brain's constantly going through evolution and change.
But I think too many people, Dana, they rely on guns to solve problems, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you look at Europe, the cops, they don't have any guns. They just have a billy club. What about, hey, can you calm down, sir? Can you come? I mean, come on. Well, these people, they don't have the guns like we do.
When you're looking at certain places like England, that's a unique situation because they're completely surrounded by water. We have people coming across the border. We have drugs coming across the border because we're a fertile market for the sale of drugs. If you're a fertile market for the sale of drugs, you're a fertile market for the sale of guns.
Yeah.
Drug dealers carry guns. Hey, I know this guy, you can buy a gun from him. Okay, so that's a society within a society that operates with guns, and they sell guns.
Right.
So, people are talking about eliminating guns. Well, you can't really eliminate guns. All you're going to do is you're going to jack up the price on a gun, and it's going to go underground.
You're going to eliminate it for the people that should have the guns in the first place, and then the crazies are still going to get the guns some way, somehow. Drugs are illegal. They're not legal. They're still received and gotten by people.
What is the purpose of a gun anyway, though? I mean, you need a gun for what? Because they just had a kid last week. He shot his own brother.
You're asking a question.
By accident, yeah.
Okay. If you're in an urban center like New York, okay, people live very tightly together. Mm-hmm. Now, there is a lot of violence in New York. Don't kid yourself. And a lot of it is untold because, the South Bronx and things like that. There's a lot of weapons in the South Bronx. But the reality is that cops can be there in 5 minutes or 4 minutes or 7 minutes, okay? When you live in certain parts of the country, you can't get a cop to come out for a half hour. Yeah. That's a reality. The times change. There's a lot of people that rely on self-protection, people, who are not in urban centers like New York. We're living with two societies. We have a society that lives in urban centers, and we have a large portion of society that does not live in urban centers. Okay? And they cannot rely 100% or 50% on police protection. So those people want guns. It's as simple as that, for protection.
Even people that know how to handle a gun, have grown up with a gun, either their family hunted or whatever the case may be, they may feel, okay, you're a dad, you have 3 kids and a wife. If somebody breaks into your house and is trying to do something to your kid or your wife, you want to have some type of protection for you to use in order to protect against them. But then your case, the brother killing the brother, now that's a problem within the parents.
Was that a
keeping
mental
the
issue?
gun.
Was it a mental issue?
No. He heard somebody. He thought somebody broke into the house. It was late at night, and he just randomly started shooting the person.
How old was this?
Oh, he was a high school kid. He just graduated high school.
Well, that doesn't. That's misjudgment. Remember the athlete who killed his girlfriend?
Yeah.
In South Africa, he just fired randomly through the bathroom door.
So here's my thing. What is the purpose of it? For example, you can get a Glock. How many rounds does that thing fire off? Like 36?
No.
Well, I mean, what? Like 18 bullets? And I don't know about guns. So.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, why do you need something to fire off, even if it's 8 bullets in 3 seconds? What is that all about?
Well, it's all about self-protection. That's all it's all about. It's all about.
Guns are programmed the way they're programmed. You can't really change
the reality is you're going to
have
have guns. Second Amendment. You got to change the Constitution. Guns are going to be part of our lives. It's a matter, and we live in 330 million people. We are going to have people who go off berserk. Remember, 35,000 people die in car accidents every single year. 35,000. Okay?
Yeah, but you can't control a car accident. You can control whether or not you shoot somebody.
You can control car accidents because there's no such thing as a car accident. Somebody's responsible always in a car accident. Anyway.
You went a little off on that one, Danny.
This is Danny Ramos. Tune in next week to Speak Out TV. We'll see you right here on Channel 49. Thank you.